y'all. Hey, welcome to LYF According to Cree, the podcast. As always, I am your host, Cree Cole, and we are officially at episode 4 of season 3 of the return of LYF According to Cree. And let me tell you something. It's a struggle every day. I know I only come on once a week. I know this is only the 4th episode, but it is a struggle every day. When I tell you all, I have been overstimulated every single day. I have taken a nap every single day when I clocked out for them people job. I promise you. Every single day. Sometimes I might wake up within an hour. A couple different times I didn't wake up till 9, 10 o'clock. But baby, we here. We here. It's Sunday night. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. Starting off by Cree telling a little bit of her tea. Because see, last Sunday, while you all were enjoying episode 3, I had the pleasure of joining wonderful people, having an engagement, wonderful vibes, all the things at an event, cocktails and conversations. It was an open mic. It was spoken word. It was karaoke. It was trending topic conversations throughout. When I tell you, it it was a good time. It was a good vibe. Good grown folks vibe. I promise, babies, if you watch me, I love y'all. Stay tuned because we're gonna get to where we need to get to. Let me tell you something. It was a genuine grown folks vibe. And I will be going back. Your girl got up a little bit, did a little 1-2, did a little spoken word, gave a little bit of that Erica Badu Tyrone. If you know me, then you know me. But this event is scheduled to happen each and every Sunday at Oasis, right here in Florence, South Carolina, on Evans Street. Look it up, check it out. I promise you, you are in for a good time. Okay, so now that I got that out the way, this week begins the real life recap. What is a real life recap, you ask? It is the time in the podcast, right before we get into our topic of the week, where we touch on a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of them, a little bit of they. Maybe even get a little bit up in a couple of people's business, you know what I'm saying? And cover those things that you may have missed throughout the week. We all know where we live, and we all know who runs the country that we live in, right? Okay. Everybody has the same understanding. Our hearts and minds are clear. We know where we at. We know who runs the country that we're in. So this week, our commander in chief actually threatened our allies, our NATO allies, our unofficial allies. This man actually got on national television and threatened our allies, saying that we need to get them to stand up for us and to help us terrorize the people over in Iran. He actually wants them to help us, because this is unfortunately, to help us terrorize and bother them people over there in Iran. I don't know that much about Iran, but what I do know on Iran is that back on the day of my birth, on the 45 years ago, on January 20th, they had some of us hem up. They had some of us hem up hostage. And that was the day that they released the last set of hostages they had. That was back 45 years ago. The U.S. was very much the U.S. that it is now. It had all the same shits and giggles, just the 80s version. And apparently, Iran is still that girl. If you know, you know that they shut down the Strait of Hormuz and Hormuz, and that's why you can't buy no gas. That's why you got to buy the gas or get lunch. Because the longer this passage stays closed, the more negotiations that Iran makes and deals they make with other countries to trade oil in other currencies other than the US dollar, baby, let me tell you something. Y'all worry about the stock market. Because see, some of y'all that ain't got nothing was worried about the stock market. Some of y'all that ain't even got no stocks. Y'all worry about the stock market. Let me tell you something. We are on the verge of a full-blown energy crisis that them people overseas don't want no parts of. So we're going to keep an eye. We definitely going to have to keep an eye on that. The other thing that we need to keep an eye on is that doggone SAVE Act. Because, baby, They are. I need for you all, because this is not a political podcast, and we're not gonna do it. But I need for you also take some time, sometime this week, to look up the Save America Act. It is in reference to your voting. It is in reference to how you vote, who can vote. They even got some stuff in there saying that if a man and woman married, they only get one vote. Pretty much taking away our women's ability, if they are married, to vote at all. So that is definitely something that you all need to get. You know what I'm saying? You might want to look up, you might want to see what's going on with it, and you might want to get with the people in your state to see what you need to do to pressure your Congress people into doing what's right. Okay? We already got this coming up, and then they're gonna start hearing the stuff in the Supreme Court, trying to undo a lot of the things that are in the 14th Amendment, as say, including how you become a U.S. citizen, trying to undo the fact that if you're born here, it's automatic. So, yeah, I'm just saying, you use Chat GPT for everything else. You use Google for everything else. That might be something that you might want to Google this week. Okay? The news, and I might be the only person that's excited. You know what I'm saying? I I know I can't be the only person that's excited, but for 80s babies, y'all, girls, the Pussycat Dolls. Loosen up my buttons, baby. The Pussycat Dolls. I'm talking about getting together. It's talking about reuniting. Listen here. Anytime any of the acts from the 90s or the early 2000s start talking about they want to get back together, baby, I'm all the way with it. I'm all the way with it. I ain't with all them these little collaboration groups like the TGT, Tyrese, Genuine Tank, all that kind of stuff. I ain't with that. But what I'm definitely with is all our folks getting back together and making a run. There is no better time. Let me tell y'all. I entertainer may never see this, but I promise you, if you were a superstar between 1995 and 2005, this is the time for you to get out there because we buying the tickets, baby. We coming to see. We come. Do y'all not see what New Edition, Tony Braxton, and Boys the Men are doing simultaneously? While Cardi B is out here selling. Listen, there's space for you. This time the Pussycat Dolls gonna get it. I want to loosen up my butt. I just want. I'm gonna stick with you. I'm gonna stick with you. Ooh, okay. In other entertainment news, and y'all know I was gonna have to talk about it. Sinners, sinners. No, they did not get every single award that they were nominated for, but baby, they got the awards. They got the awards. And that Michael B. Jordan, let me tell you something. You wanna know why I like Michael B. Jordan? I've never thought Michael B. Jordan was sexy. I've never gone, oh my gosh, he's so. That's never been a thing for me. That's never been a thing for me. However, he always could act. Always could act. I've been watching Michael B. Jordan since he was a kid. So I feel like a proud big cousin. And if you're not feeling like a proud big cousin, regular cousin, a auntie, whatever, hey auntie, whatever the case may be, baby, I need for you to check. I need for you to check your pulse. I need somebody to lean over, tap your neighbor and tell your neighbor to check my pulse. Now, Michael B. Jordan's Oscar win also led to. I've been seeing videos. Her name is L'Oreal. I don't know what her name is. What I do remember about her is her being on that red carpet with a yellow wig on, and Michael B. Jordan walking up to her and make it no, and then she made sure she let him know, like we know each other, right? You know each other. You know, we went to high school together. You know, we both for the all the things. And then he made sure that he reminded her, yeah, I remember how you used to fuck with me when we was in school. Now, mind you, this was years ago. This was years ago. This is during Cree time. You know what I'm saying? This is years ago. However, following his win, just this week, she been on another platform, on a little podcast with a panel of messy bitches. And I hate to do that because I'm all about women's empowerment. They can be empowered, but you can be empowered. Multiple things can be true at the same time. You can be a powerful being and still be messy and not use your power in the right way. Not use your platform in the right way, not use your space in the right way. And she opted to go into how Apparently, people online, they were done, y'all going harder for that person. That person don't even know you, da 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 da. Because apparently she was getting some backlash due to that over the past couple of years. Okay, she's been getting backlash. But in my world, my way of thinking, probably because I was not a bully when I was in school, I didn't get bullied, but I wasn't a bully. Maybe from my point of view, I just feel like everything is coming full circle. Like you literally, the way that she kikied in that moment, the way that she kikied in at least two other interviews that I heard her speaking about actually picking on him before they had the encounter with each other, she had no problem with bullying. She had no problem with the cracking of the jokes. She had no problem with the kiki. So she shouldn't have had no problem. She had no problem with this kiki right now. Like I said, nobody. These people don't really know us, right? So that means them people don't really even know you. So you should be unbothered. It's kind of full circle though. It's kind of a karmic moment. Kind of a karmic moment. Glad he got to get that off his chest though, because the fact that he had it. Listen, I am a firm believer. Is that I ain't gotta catch you now, but when I catch you, I'm gonna get you. When I catch you, I'm gonna get you. Now the delivery might not be the same. I might be fiery mad at the moment when it happened. And when I finally get to you, my feelings about it may not be the same. But what I'm not gonna do is play fake with you. And she was about to play in that man's face, and she's just still feeling away because he didn't allow her to play in his face. And in other news, y'all know I'm a sports girly. Y'all know how I get down. Like me being Coach Cree just ain't about no life coaching. That ain't even where it started. I was a coach long before that. The WNBA has come to verbal agreements, and we're about to have the first WNBA player grossing over $1 million. Like historically, this is the greatest salary hike in sports entertainment history. And I love to see it. I love to see it. I'm not one of them people. And before I say that, and much needed things are being put into place in order to make being a WNBA player more of a benefit than a job. Them girls was talking about not having proper trainers, not having the same types of facilities for treatment, things of that nature. So shouts out to them. Shouts out to everybody. And I promise you, last year, the press conference, y'all know what I'm talking about. Whip, she put it all on the floor. Like, oh, since y'all gonna play in my face, mm, let me go ahead and put it out there. What it really is, what you really said. You know what I'm saying? I promise you that's what was needed. Sometimes that's exactly what's needed to get where you need to go. So yeah, like that's what's happening. A lot is happening. A lot happened last week. Because what pressure reveals is real things. Tensions bring things to the surface. And eventually, the truth has to come out. And that brings us to today's episode topic. Today, we are talking about that moment when you finally say what you've been holding in. Mm-hmm. Because let me tell you something. I I am the person who has had the spaz outs, okay? I've had the spaz out. I've had the stuff that I held in just about 30 seconds too long. And this that conversation you've been like replaying in your head, you know how you the thing happens and you walk away from it and you don't say nothing, but then you keep thinking about what you should have said and you didn't say. So whether you see that person or not, it keeps nagging at you. You keep thinking about what that you need to have that conversation, but you just can't seem to bring yourself to have it, and you keep putting it off. No, because you don't know how the conversation is gonna go, and you don't know how you're gonna react. Because one thing is true, and two things are for certain. You can map out, plan out what you gonna say, how you gonna say it, how you gonna stand. You know, if you gonna get cute to go do it, had a conversation. If you just gonna keep it real funky and keep it real gutter, you can come up with all of that. But one thing that we do not have any control over is how the other person reacts. And a lot of times Us knowing that hinders us from having the conversations. We avoid conversations. I know people who have known people for decades. Decades. It's their family, it's their friends, it's their spouse. And they would do anything to avoid a conversation that they deem to be a hard conversation. Like, because they feel uncomfortable. They feel uncomfortable. Sometimes we think we know what to say, but we're not sure of what to say. Like I said, because we don't know how that person is going to respond. And more often than not, the reason why we don't say the things that we want to say is honestly, we're afraid of losing a relationship. Like, people will pop their shit and be like, oh, I say my no, 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 no. I let them know. I don't be biting my tongue. Da, 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 da. Weeks and weeks go by. Y'all keep having conversations. They can be like, you talk, so you talk to old girl about that? You talk to old boy about that? And they're like, no, no, I ain't talking about, but see, I ain't playing with them. Because I don't care. They could leave or they could go. I mean, y'all know how we get down. Y'all know how we get down. We pop all that shit. But in reality, the reason why we haven't had the conversation is because we're scared of where that conversation could go. Like, even in my own life, like the fear, and to be honest, I'm gonna tell y'all this story, but my fear of losing what I had and actually losing what I had based on the conversation really truly like made me not want any parts of a relationship for years. 4 years. Not all these years. That's not where I'm at with it now. But it did play a part into my singleness. So picture it. Picture it. It's 2016. I uproot, I move, me and my boyfriend, we get a spot together in 27, we get a spot together in 2017. We're living together. We're still doing the family thing. Our kids live 2 hours away. Both of our kids live 2 hours away. So we're driving back and forth. Both of us got jobs. Everything is going good. But there is a problem. There is a problem. We are not married. And it was a problem for me, but it was not a problem for him. He knew it was a problem for me prior to us moving and starting a new life together. He knew it was a problem. And I promise you, I can't tell you what prompted me to start the conversation. But we were going to bed. We were going to bed. And neither one of us didn't really sleep at night. So it's morning. It's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know what made me ask. And I was like, when you gonna marry me? When we gonna get married? Because I want to be married. And you know that I want to be married. Like, we done moved, like my baby about to get out of school, yours will be out of school not too long from now. Like when we gonna do that? And I'm talking like I'm like, because we don't even have to do XYZ. I don't have to have no wedding ceremony. We could just go do it. Yeah, we ain't even gotta announce to people till after we already done got it done. I'm doing all this. I'm doing all that. I'm doing all that. And he's like, he let me talk, and then he was like, where this come from? So the way this come from definitely triggered me. I'm not triggered because we have been having this conversation since the first time we linked. And the first time we had linked was in 2012. It is now 2017. And you're asking me, where does this come from? So, of course, the conversation gets heated. The conversation escalates. I'm crying. He's mad that I'm crying. He's like, Crystal, we got to go to work tomorrow. Let's go to bed. We go to bed. We go to bed. We get up the next morning. We start going about our morning. We're doing our normal morning stuff, right? We're doing all our morning stuff. I'm like, he's a little bit quieter than normal. I'm a little bit quieter than normal, but we are not ignoring each other. We are still talking because you know what? That nigga my best friend. That nigga my best friend. I'm not gonna not talk to my best friend. One thing about my last relationship, there was no point in time where I was not going to talk to that man. I don't care how mad I was, and if I keep it all the way a buck, I wouldn't withholding nothing neither. Care how mad I was. I don't care where I thought you was. Come give me that. Can't nothing about that. Can't nothing about that. But that's neither here nor there. So we're going through our regular routine and all that stuff. He drops me off at work. He does not have to work. So he drops me off at work. We end up having a conversation about mid morning. I was like, I kind of want something to eat. Like, I kind of want to go and get something to eat. And he's like, okay, well, I'll come pick you up and come take you to lunch. Okay, cool. Nigga comes and takes me to lunch. We go Chick-fil-A. Go Chick-fil-A. I took a longer lunch because it's going to take us longer to get to the Chick-fil-A because I worked in the middle of downtown Charlotte. Well, uptown Charlotte. I was 3 blocks from the epicenter. Okay. Um, But we ride our little further. We get the lunch. We get back. I finish eating my lunch in the car. He finished eating with me. We give each other sugar. We get out the car. So after lunch, I'm thinking, okay, cool. Yeah, you know, the conversation didn't end the way that I wanted it to end. With him being like, I didn't get the response that I wanted. With him being like, yeah, okay, well, let's do it. Because that's what I was expecting. Anybody who knew us, if they heard me, if I told them prior to, okay, on Tuesday night, on Friday night, I'm gonna tell him I want to say, they would. I promise you, everybody who knew us would have been like, oh, y'all be married on Saturday. Would have thought it, but that's not the result that I got. But after going to lunch, everything being cool, I was completely at peace with the fact that I brought it up, despite the fact that he told me that that's not something that he wanted to do right now. After lunch, I felt like I had done the right thing, right? So fast forward to 5 o'clock. I get off at 5 o'clock. He is outside to pick me up. It is Friday. Every Friday we would drive the 2 hours to come back to our hometown because our kids were here. My son, it was football season. My son would have football games, all the things, right? So cousin picks me up on Friday. 2 bags are on the back seat because there's always 2 bags on the back seat because we would need clothes for the weekend. We would usually leave out on Friday. He come pick me up. We leave and come back to our hometown on Friday. Monday, we would get up early Monday morning. He would go drop me off at work, and then he would go to work. That's the schedule that we were on. So bags being in the car weren't really nothing. I get in the car. He's still not as talkative as he usually would have been. He wasn't even that talkative like that during lunch. He was sweet, his normal sweet self, but I could tell that the night before had, really affected him or whatever. He comes and picks me up, we talking. I'm telling him stuff about work. You know how you do. You get in the car with your man after work. You gotta talk about the bitches at the office. You gotta talk about how much a manager get on your nerves, all the things, right? And we are going down 485 because we lived in North Charlotte. And to get to our hometown, we would take a back highway rather than going all the way through the city. So we're riding, we riding, we riding. We talking a little bit here and there. I'm tired because usually on these trips, when we would come back home, I would end up falling asleep in the car because I don't work all day and I'm tired. But and he would always be the driver. So we riding, we riding, we ride, and something in me made me look back. It made me look back, and when I look back, because we were driving a big white extended cab F-150, Ford F-150. I looked back and I noticed that there were items, luggage, not only in the car, in the truck, but on the back of the motherfucking truck. Long story short, 2 hour drive, yelling, screaming, crying, all the things. I drop him off to his people. I drive to my people. Um, I let them know that the relationship is over. I have a breakdown. And for maybe 6, 7 months after um, the official breakup, um, after a couple of weeks, we start back talking a little bit. After about the first month, he starts back coming, like actually on the weekends. to stay with me. He hell, he purchased me a bed during that time. A couple of different things for the apartment. But we're not together. We're not together. And that's when I started feeling like me asking for what I wanted was the reason that we weren't together. Because after the breakup, when we were together, it was as if nothing had changed. It was as if nothing had changed. The way that we moved, communicated, and everything with each other was exactly the same as it was the 4 years, 5 years we had been living together prior to that conversation. And in my heart of hearts, I began to feel like I made a mistake because me not saying what was on my mind, which is omission of the truth, and omission of the truth in my world is the same as a lie. Me not speaking my truth and then standing on my truth prior to the move, prior to us actually moving in together. Because we lived together in our hometown for a couple of years before we moved out of the city. Like me not speaking my truth and saying what was on my mind caused, in my mind, caused the breakup of the relationship. Like I felt like I had let it go on too far. And the reason why I would think it sometimes, and the two of us would even entertain it when it was brought up, marriage was brought up to us and we were together. Like I was afraid to just say, what you gonna do? I was terrified. And I was terrified because I felt like I was losing my relationship. And then as soon as I did it, what did I do? I lost my relationship. So that caused me to kind of pull back as far as getting into relationships because following that, from 2018 to about 2023, like it, well, 2022. And so for 3 years, I did not want no, when I say I damn near ain't want no parts of no man, I reverted back to early 2000s Crystal. That even if I came through, I'm coming through, I'm doing you, and I'm getting the fuck on back through. I ain't answer phone calls, I ain't respond to texts, I ain't do none of that. It's like cause I didn't want to risk getting into another relationship, wanting things, and then me wanting those things result in me completely losing the entire relationship. Because after that, I say 6, 7 months that we kind of kicked it. After the breakup, it got to the point where enough was enough. Enough was enough. How the hell you go from being the main to a side? I didn't even need nobody to tell me. It was all the way through my bones. I could feel it all the way through my bones. I feel it all over my body. The whole thing. Like I just knew that was not the move. And I got on through. But for at least 3 to 4 years after that, I had a real fear of connecting with someone, being truthful about how I felt, and that resulting in me losing that person. And I still low key got it. It's not as intense. I let people in now. Because at them first 3, 4 years, I ain't let nobody in. I ain't let nobody in. Not into my heart, not into my mind. I let some people in, but just not, in the way that in all the ways they should have been. I'll say that. Uh, Speaking the truth may not always save a relationship either. Like people tend to think that just being honest is enough. Just being honest. Just saying it. That's enough. Like I told you, I said to you, I said from the start, I ain't never tell you nothing no different. Why you thought anything any different? Those are things that people say, men and women. Men and women. So ladies, don't yeah, niggas we lie, da da da. No, 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 we do it too. If we keep it a whole book, we do it too. We sell dreams too. Depending on who the dude is. We sell dreams too. But like sometimes being honest being truthful, speaking your mind, getting it off your chest, yes, it definitely makes you feel better. But it's not always going to save that relationship. Sometimes people have just had enough. But it will, if it does nothing else, it'll protect your self respect. Fam, if I didn't learn anything else, I did learn, and not immediately. Like I said, it took some time. It took some time because I left out of that relationship a changed, not a changed person, but with changed views on things. And it took for me to learn that boundaries in love are not punishment. While I thought that it was unfair, that was a line that he had drawn for himself that had nothing to do with me. Boundaries in love are not punishment. They're clarity. It's there. They're there to let you know what I'm cool with, what I'm not cool with, what I'll accept, and what I'm not gonna accept. Makes sense, right? The same way that you have your set of boundaries, that man, that homegirl, that family member, they all have boundaries too. And when it comes to family, I don't care how y'all were raised, if y'all was all raised together, sleeping 10 to a bed, if y'all lived in different parts of the country, if y'all saw each other every holiday and weekend, every person is an individual, and every individual has different boundaries based on their everyday interactions in the world, their own individual belief system. What's cool for you might not be cool for me. And any healthy relationship, no matter who it's with, is a sign of respect. Like healthy relationships respect clarity. They respect clarity, they respect boundaries. When I don't care how much I want something for someone else, if they've set a firm boundary saying that that's off limits or that's not possible, that just is what it is, no matter what I believe, because people's boundaries are based on their own beliefs. Like I can tell you, I won't say that I lost a best friend. I won't say I lost a best friend. But what I will say is that there has been, or there was a time when a boundary changed the dynamic of me and that friend's relationship. Like, I can say that we're still friends. There is still genuine love there, but her boundaries and my boundaries, like they conflicted, they butted heads. Cause okay, situation is she has a son. We have kids that are around the same age. They are adults. They are adult children. Um, the son is having issues with his kid's mom. The issue started before the child even got a chance to breathe a breath of its own air. Started during pregnancy. So, child gets here. There are still some issues because there were always issues. And my best friend is sharing with me from her family, and her son's point of view what is happening, right? I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions, but I'm all in. I'm you because y'all don't want to be, oh shit, that's fucked up. Are you serious? Wow. Like those are the types of reactions that I'm having to the stories that I am hearing about things that are happening. Right? So long time goes by. Long time goes by. And this is all I know. But also during that time, we started to be distant because my lifestyle changed. I had a lot going on. Her lifestyle had changed. She's now a grandmother and first lady and all these other things, right? So both of our lives are still going, but they're not on the same path anymore. Where at one time we were on the exact same path. Like my life was progressing towards certain things that she had, and she had aspirations to and goals to achieve certain things that I had. So we were on the same path. going to different destinations. But then that began to change over that time. Um, so during that time, I actually had the privilege of meeting the baby mama and said baby mama's family. And in doing that, because of the relationship, but because of how I met them, the other family, um, I was made preview to those exact same stories from their lens. And being a single mother, someone who has never, and at that time, never been married, but raised their child with someone very young. Because I was very young when I got pregnant. I was 19 when I got pregnant. I had my son when I was 20. So I could completely relate to the immaturity, to the fear, to the frustration of that mother, despite my relationship with the father. Now, because this is my best friend, I'm not finna sit over there and have that conversation with them and not immediately go to her the next day and tell her that I had that conversation and what I was told. And to give thoughts of my own. Because as we know, there's always their story, and the truth. That's in all situations. Because everybody's not going to view everything exactly the same way. That's why eyewitness testimony is shaky. Okay? Little law and order for you. Nonetheless, we're having the conversation. And I'm telling her what was said. And I'm telling her how I feel about what was said. And the conversation isn't so much me saying what I liked and disliked about the conversation when I'm telling how I felt about it. That's not what it was. What it was, my when I was expressing my feelings, I was expressing how or what I thought from now hearing both sides of the story that could be done and trying to give her some insight as to what it's like to be a young single mother. Because my best friend did not have that same experience. She did it the right way. She met a guy. They fell in love. They got married. They had their kids. But I thought that she would be just a little bit more understanding to what I was saying because she had males in her family who weren't as present as others may have liked them to be with their children. And she had relationships of some sort with the baby mamas. So I couldn't understand. And I wanted her to see why she should make a real valid attempt to have a relationship with her son's baby mama, especially taking the fact that this is your grandchild. But I'm speaking to her from the lens of a baby mama. Long story short, she basically tells me that conversations about her kids is off limits. Her kids and her family off limits. She didn't want to hear about her child. That may not have been how she meant it, but that is definitely the way that I felt it. From the pushback that I received, from trying to give her insight from a different lens. Because while you may have been a mother too, what you were not is a single mother. And I don't care how many single mothers say that they can do it the same way as someone who's in a healthy relationship with their child's father, married and all that. It's not the same. You can still have a great relationship, but it's not the same. Um, that boundary was drawn, and in our conversation, I also expressed the boundary because what we not gonna do is discredit this young lady as a mother because she did not become a mother in a traditional way. Because I didn't either. You can't talk about how great of a mother I am to my son as my friend and then say that she can't possibly be a good mother because she can't get along with your kid. Didn't make sense to me. And I made that very clear. And it really, from there, it definitely changed the dynamic of our relationship. We stopped talking on the phone because that's something that was major that was going on in her family life. And I wasn't on her side. I wasn't on her side. The thing about it is I wasn't on anyone's side. I really just wanted to give her insight that she did not have. Because at the end of the day, even if you have relationships with your siblings, baby mamas, that's not the same as you having a relationship with your grandchild's mother. There has to be a certain level of care that's put into that as a woman, as a mother. And she wasn't willing to do it. She wasn't willing to do it. I remember when my baby was very, very young, very, very young, and his daddy was doing the YN type behavior when it came to getting him, not picking him up, not answering the phone, not bringing stuff, all of that. My child's grandmother, paternal grandmother, I could call her and say, no matter how much I cussed his ass out, no matter what me and him were going through, no matter what words we exchanged, no matter how much of a fool I cut with him, I could call her and say, he ain't come pick the baby up. I could sound mad. I could be pissed. I could be upset. I could be crying. But because that was her grandson, and she wanted a relationship with her grandson, because whether or not he did anything didn't matter to her. What was going on between me and him didn't matter to her. She didn't feel like that was any of her business. I remember one time calling her crying, and she said, girl, you go ahead and bring JD over here. And I drove, I did, because he lived with his mom and daddy. So I drove to his house and took my baby to her. And I told her I was sorry because I was screaming on the phone. And I was still wound up when I got to her house. And she got my baby and she said, he gonna be all right, talking about my son. And she said, cause what y'all got going on ain't none of my business. So that was just what I was trying to convey. But it definitely changed our relationship. And I can say that since we had that conversation, we may have had maybe 2 conversations since then. Maybe 2. Um, and it's been a couple years. It's been a couple years. Um, one was recently, one was right here in 2026. I can't say that I even talked to her in 2025. But it's out of respect for her boundary. Because I'm not gonna be able to talk to you and I talk to everybody and know what it is and not say nothing. I'm not gonna be able to do that. So since I know I'm gonna respect your boundary. I'm gonna respect your boundary and how you feel about the situation. And if you don't have anything that you want me to know about you that's not connected to that, then it's okay. No love lost. No love lost at all. No love lost at all. But let me ask y'all this. What conversation have you been avoiding in your relationships? And it can, like I love to tell y'all, it can be in a romantic relationship, work relationship, friendships, all the ships. What think of them in all those areas, and I'll be more specific. In your romantic relationships, your friendships, your kinship, which is your family, and your work relationships. What conversation have you been avoiding in any of those relationships? And what I want you to do is I want you to identify that conversation, write it down, write it down. Write down all the reasons why you feel you have not had those conversations. And ain't nobody gonna see it but you. So you can keep it a whole book as to why you have not had those conversations. And then think of ways that would make you comfortable to have that conversation. Write that down. And then I want you to plan what day you're going to have that conversation. Because let me tell you something, there's nothing worse than holding something in, having a spaz out, and the person still don't know what you upset about. All they know is that you spazzed out. I promise you, more often than not, when you do that, when you have that meltdown, that emotional meltdown or that angry spaz out, all they remember is that you melt down or you spazzed out. So this week, take a look at how to do that. So that's it. Episode 4 is in the books. It's done. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at LYF According to Cree. Make sure that you get over to lifeaccordingtocree.com, which is our home platform for all things LYF According to Cree, all things Cree Cole. It is where you can get into our monthly self-check and Empower 365 challenges. It is where you can access our YouTube channel. It's also a space where you can subscribe and get actual workbooks to go along with each one of the monthly challenges. And it is the official link up to Amazon to get any book from the Empowered Living series, Life Teen series, or Life Kids series. Yes, I do books. We also, don't forget, March 1st, I released This is 40, Living Life on Your Own Terms. Also available on Amazon. Make sure you go and check that out. Get your copy. If you're not the one that flip the pages and read the book, baby, get the audio book. Get the Kindle. Get the Kindle audio book, baby. You can just listen to it. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Do your big one. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me yet another week. I can't wait to get back up with y'all next week. And I want for you also remember that loving yourself first is not about being selfish. It is not about being selfish. And like I always say, if they're telling you that it is, it's because they got something, there's something that they're getting from you that they don't feel like they'd be able to give to you if you realize and take time for yourself to realize they're getting. It's about learning to love yourself in a way that allows you to love others better. So, listen, like I said, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. You can see me during the week if you go ahead and follow me. If you go ahead and follow me, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Check me out. Okay, bye.